All right. Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, so we are going to go ahead and jump on into a message for the 7th. The 7th of September also happens to be that full moon, that full lunar eclipse, blood moon. I actually created a video where we have 6 different messages for blood moon messages. You guys will see that one come out somewhere on the 7th. And I'll leave the comments on that video. And if you guys want me to roll the dice between 1 and 6 and tell you what number it is, and then, listen to that particular message, just for fun to make it a little bit more, I don't know, just exciting. Feel free. You guys will see that video will come out on the 7th. And in the meantime, I will also tell you I recorded an alternate, I guess I'll call it the alternate, very fanciful storyline for the 7th. That video is long, so it's still processing. I'll release it whenever we can. But this, for whatever reason, we got to have 2 different messages for the 7th. And so we'll see what we get here. Must be meant to be. So we have the Strength card. Leo. The message on the 7th is that we do have somebody who is sitting in their strength, but I feel like we have 2 people that are going to be like embracing each other. Now, this could be a feminine who's particularly like she got a great house cat or a great pet or a dog or something that's some furry creatures. Furry creatures, they are the little friends to humans on this planet, aren't they? Animals are such incredible companions for us. And so it could also be that she has a very strong bond to like nonverbal creatures, to animals, to plants. She could be semi-shamanistic, but we may have a feminine Leo who is recognizing or thinks that she's recognizing, I am alone, but I do have, the energy of living things around me. I am supported by other energy of, pets and animals. And she could be very gifted with living creatures. She could be a shaman, whether or not she knows that. Her inner animal could be particularly coming to the surface, and she may be particularly like drawing strength from other, like energies around her. Anything, plants, animals, you name it. But here she is actually walking alone, or so she thinks. We have a character who doesn't realize it, but they're not actually going to be alone much longer. If she's resigning herself on the 7th to this idea that, at least I've got this beautiful, friendly little house cat, and I see all around me other people are all booed up, but it's just not in the cards for me. I'm going to be single and I'll just enjoy, the creatures of this world. They are my friends. They are my companions. But relationships for me, that's just, for some reason, I'm not the person who gets that in this lifetime. And then the very next card says, on the 7th, a feminine who literally wakes up in the morning and says, I know that I'll stay single probably the rest of my life. That very same day, on the 7th, she may have a returning lover come back into her life. She may have, it doesn't have to be the same day, but it does say somewhere in the same, like as she makes this thought process and she happily resigns herself to this. It's so ironic because right as she's totally releasing all ideas, hopes, wishes, expectations, it's so crazy that once we no longer expect something, that is oftentimes when things come in for us. And sure enough, we have this lover coming in. This could be somebody who senses and listens to their own guides and says, I need to go toward her. I need to go toward her. This is definitely going to... she's a great catch. She's somebody who would make such a great partner. And the truth is she was lying to herself about like, I don't need anybody. Of course not. It's not in the cards for me anyway. I'll go single solo. And that's how my life is going to be. She's not destined to be alone. She just isn't. If she wants to say, I don't want anybody, that's a different story. But this says, we have somebody coming into her life. Who are they? They could be a Gemini. It could be from her past. Queen of Wands, they're somebody who sees her as the light in their life, the most attractive, most alluring. She keeps coming out as like fiery energy. She doesn't have to be a fire sign per se, but she definitely like shines very brightly. I'm trying to decide which deck I want next. I do think I want this one. Okay. Tell me more about whomever this lover is for her. We have a Page of Wands. Something's biting my shoulder. A Page of Wands and a Page of Cups. They are somebody who has clearly watched her from a distance. They are somebody who has to travel toward her. By the way, this could be same-sex couple. Does not have to be, but we do have an awful lot of feminine energy. They have been either afraid to approach her for some time. Oh God, they're her Two of Cups. Okay. I don't know. Here they show up as a masculine bluebird who sees her as this incredible light in their life. And this could still be them looking at her. Like, obviously, she has been on their mind for a very long time. And then have that Two of Cups card. Again, we can't see his face. His face is turned toward her. She is this wonderful sea nymph. He has been this, he's like part tree, so he's very rooted. He sees her as this free spirit. He sees her as somebody who can come and go as she pleases. He sees her possibly also as a mermaid, which is what we have here. This is somebody he both wants to apologize to, as well as offer something to. Tell me more about this. Queen of Swords now. She deserves the truth. Okay, but who are you? Character, who are you? I'm still trying to figure out who you are as that lover. Nine of Swords in the reverse, Nine of Wands sideways. Somebody who's finally like free of a place, and somebody who's finally like liberated and no longer stressing out and no longer so wounded. Somebody who can finally approach her. So wait a second. Why have you been not in her life yet? Eight of Swords sideways. He was stuck, or she or he was stuck somewhere and had to act like everything was fine, and it has not been fine. We keep seeing like really heavy cards for them. She has been like the light in their life. She has been the hope for one day when I'm free, I'm going to travel toward her. One day when I'm free, I'm going to go toward her. She has been this light, even though we have the Judgment in the reverse. Part of them did never believe they'd actually be able to. Part of them did not believe that. But you still hoped, or what? The Fool. It was like, I don't think I'll get a chance with her, but someday I'll go ahead and I'll take that leap regardless. So did you have a relationship with her before? Is that what this is? Did you have a relationship with her before? Ace of Swords, Ten of Cups. Yeah, and it was the best relationship of my life. She was my Ten of Cups. But something did not last long with that Ace of Swords. This is somebody who had a chance with her, and then everything ended really abruptly. Again, with that Lover's card. And they both have these masks on, and she was trying to like open up to him, but maybe, he has this house of cards for his chest. He doesn't have a real vest on. It's all stacked like playing cards. It makes me think there were way too many secrets. It makes me think nothing was really being shared between the two of them that was honest. It makes me think that these two, again, to have the Lover's card twice, it's like I want to choose her, but God, we have a lot of things that are unseen, unknown. This card in particular, it's like she was my happiness, but we got to a point where either there was awkwardness, there was mistrust. We didn't get a chance to like really show the real face. Remember, he was trapped somewhere with that Eight of Swords. Even that Nine of Swords showed bars. We have too many like symbols of like bars in the background. I can't help but think he wasn't free to come toward her. Maybe he was in like legal trouble or something and he hadn't said that. But it seemed like he was keeping a secret, and like something was very fragile. Okay, Two of Cups is now also here in the reverse, and this card got integrated into this deck, and it actually, now we should move to that deck then. Is right behind it, so it got pulled in. It feels like he thought of her as his Two of Cups, but then the way things went, if he was wearing a mask, then she might have started to say, he's definitely not my Two of Cups. Page of Swords. This spying, this watching her all this time to see, like, has she forgotten me? Is she really over me? She's been telling herself there's nobody anywhere for her, even though part of her never really believed that. So we have this feminine who's very strong on her own, very good being solo, but she's reached a point on the 7th where she's like, well, of course I'm good being solo. I am solo and I'm strong and I'm competent and yes, sure, I'm bright as the sun. I'm just fine. I'm a queen of wands. Yeah, he knows she's a queen of wands too. He knows this, but he is showing up in her world, even though he doesn't really expect that she'll take him back. But he has watched her nonstop all this time. Do you have something that you can explain to her that would fix things? Because I don't know why you haven't been there for her. The Magician can explain what he's been trying to manifest, perhaps. We have the 5 of Pentacles. He might be also able to explain the fact that he says, I didn't have anything. I was in a tremendous deficit at one point in time. He may have gotten himself in some kind of trouble. That 5 of Pentacles says maybe he owed somebody money or something like that. Page of Cups in the reverse. He didn't have anything to offer and he didn't want to just say sorry when he was in such a dire straits for a period of time. All I can say is right when she thinks I'm going to end up single anyway and I'm fine with that, this person from the past comes in and says she deserves to know the truth. She's the person that I've thought of as like my hope, my wish all this time. So hang on, has everything changed in your life then, masculine? Are you in a different position now? 3 of Cups, he must be in a very different position because he's saying, yes, I could finally be around her now. That's why I'm coming back in. 7 of Wands, the biggest blockage here is, will she let me come back in? 10 of Wands, one way or the other, he's just glad he's going to find out, one way or the other, he's just glad he's going to get to find out if she'll talk to him or not. 6 of Cups in the reverse. At least I'll be able to find out if she doesn't want me, if she didn't feel that way about me, if I'm not even on her radar anymore. So he's actually unsure. He thinks she probably won't take him back. He's maybe even been telling himself that I'm sure she doesn't want to hear from me. But for him, he needs to come back to her. Let's change decks again and say, feminine, how are you gonna interpret this? She's like, I know he's being honest. We got a 7 of Swords in the reverse. And she's going to be honest with herself too. 9 of Cups. I feel like it's going to be something about the way he looks at her that she's actually going to believe what he has to say. The way he's approaching her with the Knight of Cups. The 9 of Cups is like, I can tell he's looking at me like I make him happy. There is like love in his eyes or something that she's going to be able to see the truth. She's also going to be able to see or understand. This is that 9 of Swords again, where I said it's like somebody got in trouble or they, were in jail or something along those lines with the bars. She is going to hear his actual story. And I think she's going to genuinely believe what he's telling her, because this comes across like, I can see how much stress, I can imagine how much stress, I can sense it coming off of him as he's describing to me what happened. I can see that, and I know that he's not lying. Do you still want him? Even though you said I'm by myself. We have the Chariot, and it is sideways, and we have these 2 dogs of loyalty. Look, this actually is a storyline of loyalty as much as, obviously there's been a lot of, time apart. There's been a lot of problem in this situation, but if somebody's coming back in and on top of it, they have had a sense of loyalty this whole time to the connection, this might be exactly what she's always kind of wished for, but told herself she'd never find. Come to find out, she has had this. There has been this person that has actually been faithful, even though everything's been a train wreck, but they have always wanted to still work things out with her. Should the situation ever, be something that they could fix with her. I just feel like this is a person who's been away for quite a while. I have to say, this storyline has a lot of similar elements to the one that I said was like very movie quality. That one, had a lot more detail in it and was longer, but I will say it's not a whole lot different. The other video for today's topic for the 7th, I will release the movie quality version. But especially because I have to say, like, this is not so dissimilar. There's just more to the other one. All right, I'm going to leave that there because we can see that this is actually working out. All right, and now let's take a look at someone whose birthday is on the 7th. For birthday on the 7th, we have got the Three of Swords, the Empress, and the Hierophant. Three of Swords is surrounded by the solar plexus, so it's a house of willpower. The Empress has a heart chakra, and then this is the third eye chakra. So we have somebody who has the willpower to heal their own broken heart, probably because she's an Empress, and she's like, look, when my heart gets broken, an Empress knows I can heal it. One of the things she might do is, acts of kindness for others to help her own heart heal. Also be a really great role model. When we think about our broken heart and we think, how can I fix this? If we consider, okay, what advice would I give to a younger version of me? If I saw, my favorite niece brokenhearted, what would I say to her to help her to heal? Sometimes an Empress is great at nurturing other people, but she also knows how to turn it and nurture herself. And it's so interesting because a broken heart will absolutely be healed within this year, but also we see this incredible energy with that Hierophant that says, oh my gosh, actually, somehow, some way, all of these steps that I'm going through in my life, I already sense that there's a method to the madness. There's a reason for all of this. My intuition knows these things, the heartbreak, the healing, all of it is playing out because I need to be at a certain place at a certain time, because there is somebody, I'm going to meet the person that I'm going to marry. In the mix of heartbreak and healing, I also am starting to recognize, or will see throughout the year, why everything like this has occurred. It'll all click and make sense. And it'll be like, you know what? Somehow I knew that maybe the person I broke up with was never the right person, but maybe I also knew they would be instrumental in triggering my deeper healing, and that in turn would prepare me for the person I'm supposed to marry. This looks amazing. It looks like this is very much there is marriage on the horizon, going from true heartbreak to amazing companionship and lifelong commitment, all in the span of a year for this character. But it's also like, well, of course, because this is the way it all had to play out. So anyway, kind of a lovely message there. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Appreciate you.